Hey everyone, welcome to School of Photography. We're going to get dialed in here, making sure that you are hearing audio correctly. So let's do a couple of things before we get started. You will notice if you are on here live, hold on, I'm going to go to the page myself. You should be able to see below a chat window. So sound off, let us know where you're from, let us know that you can hear us correctly. Team in here, can you hear me okay? Audio's good. And how much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? So hopefully everybody's hearing us okay before we get started. And this is where we're gonna want questions. And so today, obviously, we're gonna be talking about product sales versus digital files. And if you don't have questions about this kind of stuff, then I'm not quite sure where you're at with your business. But most people who are running a business, this is where you're struggling right now. You're a shoot and burner, or you're not doing in-person sales, and you just don't understand how to get out of this. So let us know. We got somebody here from London. Hell yeah. But let us know. We got people here from Belleville. All right. So go ahead. My Slack? My Slack is shut down, so that's not possible. I have a feeling it's the chat from this. Does this make noise, this chat? Refresh this page? Okay. We'll see. Keep telling us where you're from, everybody. Is dinging? No ding. All right, so that was the issue. Yay. And what else? You feel good? It's 12:01. You feel good? We ready to get going? Guys, let's get started here. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, no matter where you are in the world. Welcome to School of Photography, and we have an incredible broadcast for you today. Of course, we are going to be talking about digital files versus selling actual products, and that is a very, very hot topic, I think, and one that, believe it or not, I've been doing this for 12 years, so it's a topic that I think all photographers struggle with, including myself. And I think I want to talk to you today about that. I want to kind of get into, hey, where did you start? Because we don't all start opening up our studios or our businesses and we're making a ton of money, right? We struggle. There is a struggle that will happen, and you've got to persevere and you've got to push through that struggle. So really the question becomes how, I think, knowing that there's plenty of studios who are out there that are professional, that do in-person sales, that are making a lot of money. Well, how did they get there? And by the way, even if you're a studio that is established, we're at this 12 years now. So we're going into my 12th year. And in our 12th year, if we did not have in-person sales or product sales, I'm not sure our studio would be where it is today without it. So the journey there is a real one. Don't let anyone convince you that they just woke up one day and started doing it. And if we rewind, back in the day, it used to be projection sales. That was the buzzword. Projection sales, projection sales, projection sales. I had no idea what it meant. There were no books written on it. There were no, projection sales Facebook groups. That didn't exist. So now you've got all these like IPS groups and things to help you, but it still can be a daunting task. And today, what I'm hoping to do is kind of share some of that knowledge with you, demystify it at least a little bit, and share with you some real world scenarios. So I think there's something here for everybody, because even as a 12-year studio that's been doing in-person sales, our business is still evolving to this very day. So we're still having to rethink how we're running our in-person sales. It's changed. Many of you have seen me on Creative Live 4, 5, 6 years ago. That, if you watch the wedding boot camp or the senior one, that's 5+ years ago. And which is fine. The fundamentals are the same, but things have changed in that period of time. Consumer demands have changed. Consumer behavior, has changed. And I think it's about thinking, about the future and how you want to continue to grow your business. So before we get too far into this, keep in mind, I'm going to ask for questions a lot. I feed off your energy. I feed off your questions. So even if you're watching on your phone or you're watching, at work, which you're supposed to be working, but no matter where you're watching from, throw those questions in the chat box below the video. And you see, I've got you will see, I've got a team here that is handling those questions so that they'll feed them to me when I'm ready. So no question is stupid. Throw it out there, and at least we can attempt to answer it. So let's get going here. So talking points today, One, I just want to talk to you about perspective, right? And understanding this digital debate versus product sales. And, you know, so many of you, and I'm curious, how many of you are still digital only? And don't be ashamed to sound off. I think that's where we all kind of start, you know, for a multitude of reasons. And the most obvious one is it's just easy. Quick overview of our studio, what we do, where we've come from, our journey, understanding digital products to IPS, right? So how did we get from digitals to offering products to a full-blown IPS solution? The benefits of digital only, I think there are benefits to digital only, so I'm not going to sit here and bash you if you're a shooting burner. I definitely have some opinions on it, but you know, it's something that there are benefits to. Of course, benefits of product sales, actual product sales, excuse me, and a hybrid model. Hybrid model is what we practice. So we're not digital only, we're not product only, we offer a hybrid because I think that's what today's client wants. So we'll talk about that. I think that's where you should consider going. And then finally, what's holding you back, right? So I want to talk to you about the things I think are holding you back, how to overcome those obstacles, because there are obstacles to just going out and doing IPS. So I don't know, you know, there's plenty of you out there that are watching that are probably in the midst, right? If you've been following me at all for the last year or 2 years, I'm hammering you over the head about IPS, and you're probably dabbling in it. That'll be the word we're using because you're not fully doing it, you're just dabbling in it. And what we want to do is figure out how do we get you from dabbling and overcome those hurdles to get you to doing full-blown in-person sales. So those are kind of the talking points we're going to cover today. And then if you've got good questions, there's no telling what we'll talk about. All right, before we move on, I want to remind everybody that we're doing these free webinars on School of Photography. No charge to you. It's our way of continuing to grow and give back to the community. So don't miss next month's headshot. So if you are looking through the course catalog on the site, you'll see that there's a lot of free courses. Last month we did what did we do last month? 3 setups for better portraits or impactful portraits. It's such a good word. So last month we did 3 setups for impactful portraits where you saw me struggling on 3 photo shoots, right? So I think it's easy to see the final product and be like, oh, you're so great. But no, like we screw shit up just like every other photographer. So it's really about the process, I think. And so the headshot one will be the same thing. It's going to be multiple setups for how we shoot headshots. So we're going to talk about how I sell headshots. You know, I'm not going to show you the post-production part of it, but I'm going to show you how we shoot it, how we light it in a multitude of ways, everything from natural light to studio strobes, and you'll watch live. So sign up below. So if you just scroll right down, you'll see that you're already logged in, and all you got to do is hit, you know, sign me up for this, and it automatically adds it to your account. So you get the reminder email 24 hours before and that. So make sure you're signing up for that. Again, September 17th at noon. All right, so this is our studio. This is where we're broadcasting to you live right now from. And I share this with you, not as in a braggadocious way. I share this with you always so that you can aspire to something. I want you to be inspired by seeing this on how a photographer can build something from their basement and now have a 12,000 square foot building that they own. And I think that's something we should celebrate. We should celebrate each other's success. I'm genuinely happy when I see other photographers becoming successful and building their businesses. And that's something the industry, our industry, probably needs a little more of versus, you know, the trolling that continues to go on just because some people are successful and others are not. So reset your calibration. Reset your expectations on what is possible. And if you love photography and you want to be a full-time photographer, I'm here to tell you it can be done. I quit a corporate job to go after this, and I've never looked back. This is my passion. I get to do what I love every single day. And so in the spirit of that, that is my journey. So this started in my basement 12 years ago. I was working a corporate job. Many of you know. Some of these details you probably don't. But I was working a corporate job, working for Microsoft, grinding it out, and I knew I wanted something better. I wanted to do what I loved. That's all I cared about. As long as I was doing what I loved every day, I never would consider it work. It took me about 2 to 3 years to move into my studio space. And this is an important thing to note. Don't be put off by the fact that maybe today you're still in your basement. You know, I was in, where were we when we saw that photographer? We were on our way, we were in was it New Jersey where we saw the photographer in Starbucks? So just last week, I was up in New Jersey and walked into a Starbucks and I saw a photographer having a client meeting in Starbucks. And it really just made me smile. Like, I just wanted to go and be part of their meeting. And the reason it made me smile is because that's how I started. When I started in my basement 12 years ago, I had no place to meet with clients. Starbucks was my office of choice. And wherever a client lived, I would go to that Starbucks that was closest to them. And that's how, I guess you could say, the in-person meetings started, because we're not going to book these clients and weddings all over internet, all over email. As much as that would be a lot easier to book clients, it just doesn't work that way. And so I want you to all realize and level set that if you're starting in your basement or your home, it's okay. But you got to have a plan to get out of there if you want to do this full time. If you don't want to do this full time, that's okay too. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you want to get to that point, you have to realize that it is a process and it is a journey. It's very easy to look at that picture of this building and go, I'm never going to get there. Of course, it's a long journey. It's not going to happen overnight, but we got to dream big, right? And that's what I'm challenging you to do. Dream big. What do you want for you, your business, your career? It's possible. You just got to work hard at it. It's not going to be easy. If it were easy, everyone would do it. And it's such a cliche statement these days to talk about that, but it's really true. Like, if it were easy, everyone would be a successful photographer. So do you have what it takes to be in the top 1%? That's the question. And you only know the answer on how hard you're willing to work. So many people I run into that say, no, I'm willing to work hard. I'll do it all. I'll work 20 hours a day. And then, like, after 1 or 2 days of that, you're like, fuck, that's hard. And so you have to realize that that's what the difference between those who are in that top 1% and possibly you. And maybe it's just not cut out for you. Scariest thing I've ever done was quit my job. Almost lost it all. Almost went bankrupt. We had a smaller space before this. So the building you're seeing in this picture is a 12,000 square foot building that we own, and we occupy the whole building. We have about 7 or 8 different companies. We have Shutter Magazine here. Shutterfest is run out of here, and Evolve Edits is run out of here. So all our other companies are in this building. But again, we didn't start here. We had a space probably just 2 blocks that way. We had a space where it was about, I think, 1,500 square feet, maybe 2,500, I don't know, but much smaller than this. And then we quickly outgrew it. Here's the takeaway. 1, anything's possible. Keep that in mind. And 2, 100% because of product sales. If we weren't selling product and we were just doing shoot and burn digital files, there's no way on earth that we would be in this facility today. Just, there's no way to support it. And that's the takeaway. So let's talk about the journey. In the beginning, average sale for us, I'm not shitting you, the average sale, print sale, was about $50. Print sale, $50. Did an engagement session, happy if they bought 1 8x10 online. I mean, it just doesn't work. Average time to sale, if I shot them on June 1st, I'd be lucky if I was seeing money by the end of August. I mean, we were begging clients, hey, your gallery's about to expire. Oh, we'll extend it for you free of charge. How many of you have been there? That happens all the time. And so it also attracts the wrong type of clients. That's the other thing people don't realize, is that it's going to attract clients you don't want to work with. That is reality. So there's Walmarts in the world, there's Louis Vuittons in the world. The person who shops at Louis Vuitton probably isn't going into Walmart, and the person who goes into Walmart probably isn't going to Louis Vuitton. So if you're shooting and burning, and I see it all the time here, and you see it in your market too, Groupon, oh fuck, it is disastrous for your business. Absolutely disastrous for your business. You're never going to see Mercedes-Benz on Groupon. You're never going to see Louis Vuitton on Groupon. Now, if you want to be a high volume studio and you just want to go out and shoot $50 and get that $50 for a 30-minute mini session and you think you're making $100 an hour, stop watching. It's probably the best thing you could do, because you're not making $100 an hour. You've got business insurance. You've got cost of goods sold. You've got your time that has to be worth something. You've got marketing that has to be done. All these things cost money. So just because $100 came in your door does not mean you're making $100 an hour. That is dum-dum syndrome. So I like to refer to that as DDS. So hopefully you don't have that. So you're going to see that you're probably attracting clients you don't want to be working with anyway. So I want to rewind and talk about my first IPS sale ever. And we're going to talk about products. I'm going to show you a whole bunch of products here. So stay patient and don't think that this is all useless information. It's important information to know where we started to where we are. If you lack that piece of the puzzle, you're missing a ton of information. And so our first IPS sale was a hit. I just kept hearing about projection sales, and I've told this story before. I got my laptop out. I got my 30-inch Mac monitor on the other side. My client sat where you are. I sat here with my Mac monitor or my laptop, used Lightroom, had no idea what we were doing because there were no books, there were no Facebook groups, nothing existed. I fumbled my way through it. First sale ever was $1,400. It was an engagement couple who came in from out of town. I think we shot them on a Friday, and I said, hey guys, I know you're in town visiting your family, planning your wedding here. If you come back in on Sunday, I'll have all your images edited for you, and we'll have wine. Well, you know, whatever we'll do, we'll have in our house, and we'll have you over. It was a huge hit, and once I saw that dollar sign come in compared to the $25 or $50 I was making over a month and a half, I now got that money immediately after my shoot. That changed everything for us. We never ever looked back. Now, our IPS process has changed significantly from that moment, right? You know, we don't have people sitting over the table from us, and it's a much more relaxed and professional, I guess, environment. But that was the foundation of it all. So we all have to start somewhere. And some of the questions that should be coming in, if you have questions, start putting them in the chat. Do we have questions coming in or no? All right. How do you not have questions? But the biggest challenge, right, that you're going to face is transitioning clients that are already in your current system. That's the challenge you're going to have. And if you have questions about that, I would love to talk about it, because this is going to be the struggle you have on how to get from people who are expecting nothing but digital files from you to people who are, you know, now you're trying to sell product to. And that was the biggest challenge for us. So let me broach that subject for a second. What we did was we drew a line in the sand. And we said, basically, any clients booked after this date have to come in to see their pictures. And in the beginning, they were coming to my house. That's where we were having them in, because we didn't have a space yet. So we drew that line in the sand, and we said, I'm making up dates right now, but we said anybody who comes in after June 1st have to come to see their pictures. But what do we do with a wedding we booked last year, and we don't shoot them until June 30th? They're not used to coming in. They're not expecting to come in. Right, there's no expectation. Seniors, families, babies, those are a little bit more immediate and near term, so that wasn't a big one. But the weddings, that's the tough one in getting them to transition from what they booked a year ago and what their engagement session was like. So here's what we did for those clients in transition. We said, hey Susie, you know, hey Roger, your wedding, you know, is next week. What we want to do is, rather than post them online, we want to bring you in and show you the pictures and walk you through the entire process. And the reason we wanted to do that, we felt like that would be a better experience for them. And we had wine, cheese, we encouraged them to invite their family, we showed a slideshow. Every single client came in. But the problem was, those clients who booked a year earlier, there was no incentive for them to buy product. They got all their digital files. So none of these things mattered. So the only way we were able to upgrade the old clients was to offer them a reason to upgrade. So we offered more pages in the album. We offered new products that they didn't have. That was a key piece, which is why I want to talk about products. So the clients I was booking in the beginning, a product like this, right? So this is this right here is a acrylic block, and you can see this is 1.5 inches thick. So it's not a thin acrylic block, and it's you know, one of the things that makes it unique is it's a print adhered. It's not printed on the acrylic block. It's an actual photographic print that is then adhered. And so this wasn't in our price list originally. So what we did was we said, okay, look, here's all new products we have that you won't be able to fulfill unless you get them through us. And that helped us during that transitional period. So I think that's what you have to start thinking about, is like, okay, I get it. I do want to do some in-person sales. I'm just not quite sure how to make that transition.
Ada has a question about process.
So give me the question.
It's kind of a statement and a question, but she's asking, she wants to sell both products and digitals, but she doesn't want people in there three times. She wants them to come in, book while they're there, and then that's it. She's wanting to know how that can be possible.
What is it, Ada?
Ada.
All right, so Ada, I apologize if I'm pronouncing it wrong. But Ada, the question is, if we understand it, is you want to offer product, but you don't want to have them in your studio or space 3 times. You kind of want to book them and then be done with them and never see them again. I think that sounds exciting, like to not have to talk to people. I think we all feel that way. So you do have some options. We could do something with your sales process where it's a hybrid process where the products are being filled online, right? So for our online, we use NView, n-vu.com. They are just about to come out of beta, but they're an in-person sales tool. And if you've been on the platform earlier, there's been bugs with it, but we've been using it with our clients, and now they're getting ready to come out of beta. So the product is solid, and it's what we use for both in-person sales and online sales, and it's a perfect tool to bridge the gap there. So you might have to adjust your process, and I want to talk more about that at the end. So hang tight, because I have something I'm talking about later that might transition us right into that. Any other questions?
There's a few questions from Armstrong, who that is, customers. He's asking if they're deterred from in-home studios.
So the question is, are customers deterred from coming in-home? That is an awesome question. His name is just Armstrong?
Yeah.
All right, I like it. So clients are, here's the thing about bringing them into your home, right? When I was doing this, I had no kids, right? So we had no kids, no dogs, the phones were unplugged. You know, it's not like, and I'm divorced now, so it's not like when I was with my ex-wife, she wasn't, in the kitchen making salmon while I'm trying to have a client meeting. So I think these things are important to understand. Don't dismiss them. You want the atmosphere completely clear of clutter, and if you got kids, you don't want the kids' toys and the dog running around, and you got a cat, and now the client's allergic to cats, and it's just creating this horrible environment. But there is also something to be said about bringing them into that, because it looks and feels like a home, which is also interesting because today our sales room, even though we're in this studio that you're seeing, our sales room looks and feels like a living room. So I think there's a lot of strength in showing a living room environment because you want people to envision what things would look like on their walls. But then the downside to that is, like I said, you got kids, screaming, the phone's ringing off the hook. And so keep that in mind. If you can create that clean environment, I don't want to say sterile because that's the wrong word, but free of distraction, and maybe you're making cookies. There's a studio we work with at Evolve, and it's the studio name is Spicy Meatballs. And he does something, they do something, it's a husband and wife team. They do something that's over the top. They cook for, a dinner for every one of their couples. So they have them over the house, and it's brilliant, right? It's such an Italian thing to do something like that. So I think there's ways, my point in all this is there are ways to make it advantageous to you to have them into your home because it creates this kind of personal connection. So just pro-con this whole thing. Any other questions?
Yes.
Give me one more.
How do you convey the value of printed product over digital to your client?
So the question is, how do you convey the value of printed product over digital? And I'm going to cover that. So hang on to that thought. Do we have one more fast one?
Well, they're wondering how you fit NView into your IPS. Are you going to be talking
I will talk about that as well. So this acrylic block that you're seeing here, this is from Virtuoso, which is my company. All transparency there. It is the letter V, by sal.com. Can you girls throw it in the chat? So this, no one else is really carrying these in this thickness, and I think that's what makes them so unique. And what I like is if you buy these, and if you're new to the company, I think we have like a first-time order discount of 25%. What's the code? So the code is sample for your first order, and I would put one of these in. These blow your clients away. But what I would do is get it with metallic paper on the background, and you're not going to see it in this video, but the metallic paper just really creates this incredible shimmer for your client. So get it with metallic paper, and this is a 5x7 block. And then behind me, this is an 8x12 block. So I think this is, right, it's beautiful for the desk. It's a really cool way to put on a bookshelf. But these are the kind of things you want to show your clients and put in their hands, and we're going to talk more about this. So hang tight. These are good questions. So I like that you guys are involved. So let's jump right into digital only for a second, right? Let's talk about it, why you do it, the good, if you will. I know everybody loses their minds when you start talking about, you're a shooting burner, you're destroying the industry. And so, I mean, you kind of are. But let's figure out how we stop you from doing it. I think it requires we all understand and level set on why you're doing it, right? First of all, it's easy. There is nothing easier in the world right? Then, yesterday I had 2 photo shoots. I had a family session in the morning and I had a high school senior in the afternoon. It would be amazing to get back here, upload the images, have Evolve edit them, hand them back to me, send my client a thumb drive and call it a day. Trust me, that is easy. No icky sales, right? A lot of photographers are like, oh, it feels so dirty selling. I don't agree with you on that particularly because I don't want to be a used car salesman. And I think that's the difference. Here's what you have to realize. Again, this is why I say today we're talking about less of the step-by-step how and more philosophy, like understanding the why behind all this. Clients are coming to you for pictures. Sell them pictures, right? And a little bit of that is, of course, education, but it becomes very difficult to put this in front of a client, right? Put it in their hands, and it becomes very difficult for them to go, oh no, I don't want that. I don't need that. Actually, the conversation goes quite differently to having to have it. And that's a different mindset, right? And so, but it's because we're putting something in their hands. So we're not telling the clients, here's what I think is horrible sales practices, by the way. If you don't order your images tonight, by the end of tonight, we're deleting all your files. Fuck, that's fucked up. Like, I don't want to be that guy. And I highly advise any of you not to be that person. That is horrible. That is icky sales tactics, right? And that's left over from, I think, the 90s. Like, that was some stuff early 2000 photographers were doing that I think because they didn't really know how to run a sales process. What I find is we don't really sell our clients anything other than the beautiful images that we created for them. From there, my job and Alyssa's job, because she runs the sales process, is to guide them through the process. Here's what you can do with your pictures. You can produce an acrylic block. Okay, well, what am I going to do with that acrylic block? Okay, well, this is something that you can put that would be great on a nightstand. This is something that would look good in an office. This is something that would look good on a bookshelf. So we're no longer having conversations with clients who go, no, we don't have it. We live in a small house. Well, how small is your house that you can't put pictures up? Like, what kind of house are you living in? So we all know that there's places for them to put things. We just have to kind of educate them and offer them products that they can use in their home, right? So shooting being done is easy. I've also heard the excuse, it's what clients want. Listen to me when I tell you this. That is not what clients want. And it's not what sometimes clients don't know best, right? They don't understand what's available to them. And so we find when you're dealing with mid-level and high-level clients, they actually are annoyed that they're getting just digital files. I'm not kidding you. We work with clients and they come in and they go, what am I supposed to do with the digital files? I have to actually educate them on what they're supposed to do with the digital files. I'm like, well, they're like, is that for like Facebook and stuff? Well, yeah, we can post some on Facebook. We'll do that. But, think about like if you want to order grandma an 8x10 or 5x7, you don't have to come to us for that. You can order these for you. Okay, but I can get everything from you, right? And I know you're probably watching this going, he is so full of shit right now. I'm telling you, I'm not. This is what clients who work and have jobs don't want to play scrapbook at home, right? That's not my client. My client is not the scrapbooker who's like, oh, I'm going to print all these and I'm going to cut them out and I'm going to make like funny captions over them. What are you doing with my pictures? I don't want you doing that with my artwork. So these are not my clients. My clients are working professionals. They have jobs. And when you work 9 to 5, 9 to 7, or you're working longer, you're an attorney, you're a doctor, these are the things you're doing. You know what you don't have time for? Fucking around at Walmart to buy $5, $2 prints, right? That's just not what you have time for. Instead, you want somebody taking care of that for you and presenting to you in a very beautiful way. Hey, can somebody do me a favor? Do we have any Salvatore Sincata like black label packaging that I can pull into this? There doesn't have to be anything in it. Just give me a bag with like tissue paper. So keep that in mind. And I know another reason that you do digital only, because in-person sales we know takes more time. You've got life, you've got family, maybe you're working a full-time job. But you are leaving so much money on the table. And the other thing you're doing, you're offering an incomplete service. Take this to heart. You want to be an artist. And as an artist, you should not just be going, hey, I took all these pictures, here you go, you figure out what to do with them. That is an incomplete service. And the analogy I love to use, it would be like going to Ruth's Chris, right, or whatever your favorite, the Capitol Grill, pick a steakhouse you love going to. Can you imagine going to that steakhouse for a nice dinner and you walk in and they're like, here you go, sir. Here's your steak. It's raw. Here's some seasoning here. We have a gas grill in the back. Feel free to cook it whenever you're ready. It's mind-boggling, right? That would not be what would happen. Yet here we are. We're handing our clients just their digital files, and we're telling them to go figure out how to make an album, how to maybe edit, how to pick final products, what would look good on their wall. That's what they're expecting. We're expecting them to do. And here's the other problem. Thank you. I'm going to talk about this in a second. Perfect. Oh, perfect. Yeah.
This, and then just to show.
Yeah. Perfect. All right, so I'm going to touch this in a second. Don't be distracted. Here's the reality. The money you're leaving on the table is absolutely money that will be spent. It will be spent. There's no doubt about it. They're just not spending it with you. They're spending it with Shutterfly. Go Google Shutterfly earnings, and you're going to see a company that comes back with over $1 billion in earnings or some crazy number. Somebody fact check me, make sure I'm not making up numbers. But you're going to see some insane number for like 2016 or 2017 Shutterfly earnings. That's being made off us. That's being made because you're just giving away digital files. And it's nuts to me when all you have to do is offer the product, and I'm telling you, they're going to buy it no matter what they say. Clients want more. We know this because they're telling us this, that they want more than just digital files. And so if you're running into clients that are telling you they just want digital files, they're not your client. Get away from that end of the market. Let the people who just started out, just got a camera, let them burn themselves out, because that's ultimately what's going to end up happening.
199.7 million.
199
in the first quarter
of Q1. Shutterfly, listen to this number. $199 million in Q1 of this year or last year?
This year it was.
Of 2018.
It was posted in May.
So in 2018, $199 million on product sales. Your work, my friends. Your work, my work. Sell product, people want it. And companies like Shutterfly, it's Q1. That means they're going to do between $700 million and $1 billion this year, because that's Q1. That's not Christmas and anything else. I'm telling you, people want product. So I'm beating a dead horse here, but I want you to make money, right? I want us to make money, not Shutterfly. So before I go too far here, I want to show you, when you hand over those digital files, I asked for thumb drive packaging. Send one of the girls upstairs. Get me a thumb drive box and just a thumb drive. So when we deliver product, rather than just giving them digital files, or worse yet, you post them to an online gallery. And listen, Enview does it, Shootproof does it, Pixieset does it, where clients can download, right? It's a technology feature. I just don't think that that's how I want my clients getting their images, and I don't turn on that feature where they can download their files from the internet. I think that is horrible service. Instead, imagine you order something from us. Should I use this camera? You order something from us, and this is how your prints are being delivered. This is black craft paper, black ribbon, and then that is a metal tag, custom metal tag that we have made for these packages. Imagine your prints are being delivered in a box that way. Where do we get the boxes from? Tap? Anybody know?
It's
Tyndall. Sorry. So the boxes that are in here we get from Tyndall. And then the wrapping paper's custom and the ribbon's custom, and you can find that stuff online. But the boxes themselves you can get from Tyndall. So imagine, all right, this is how it's being delivered to clients. And then it's being put in a custom bag for clients as well. So black bag with custom branding here. That seems like a much nicer way to deliver product than just handing over a thumb drive. And if you are going to deliver a thumb drive, I got somebody getting one right now, let's deliver it in a stylish way. So our thumb drives come from a company called Photo Flash Drive. So we have it. It's like on-demand request. Come on, Crystal. We're live. You're embarrassing us in front of everyone. Thank you. Yeah, perfect. So this is the way we like to deliver thumb drives. Show you that right here. So they come in these boxes, right? And these boxes separate this way. And then we have our, I don't know, can they see that? The Salvatore Sincata?
just a little bit. Never just
Yeah, right there. So you can see we have our logo added to it, so it's branded. And then you open up the box, it's black on black. And then we have a custom thumb drive. Let me put this in here for you. And then we have a custom thumb drive that's in there for them. So, you know, if you're going to deliver this to a client, that's how I want to deliver the packaging. So you're seeing that this is how you start convincing clients, and they want this, and they take pride and value in it as they're doing that. So hopefully that makes sense. Quick questions? We got any questions?
Yeah, would you recommend setting a minimum purchase requirement in order to attract Mercedes clients instead of Walmart clients?
Yes. So the question is, would I recommend setting a minimum order, or what was it?
A minimum
Or requirement? Same difference. Would I recommend setting up a minimum order? So let me tell you how we do it in the studio. We have a session fee. So if we're talking family, seniors, babies, even engagements, everything other than weddings, it's a $300 session fee in the studio. And as we go through this kind of webinar and education, I'm going to give you two numbers. I'm going to tell you what I do today and what I did when I was starting, because I think those are two drastically different places in our career. Today, it's a $300 session fee, families, babies, seniors, weddings, or engagements. Rewind 10 years ago, I think we had a $100 session fee for seniors, a $150 session fee, and a $250 session fee. Like, it was tiered based on time and the number of outfits. So we've gotten rid of all that. Today, for a senior, it's $300. You get 5 outfits, hour and a half to 2 hour shoot. And it's $300. That's time and talent. That's no digital files. That's no product. It's just my time. What that allows me to do is, if I want to get aggressive in a certain month, I could say, you know, 48-hour sale, 50% off session fees, 75% off session fees, because it's just a session. So yes, I'm losing $200 by discounting it, or $150 by discounting it, but I know I'm going to make that money on product sales. See, that's the difference. Now, let me forward to what also something we do today for families specifically. So as our brand has grown, what has ended up happening over the years is we get tons of families that just want family pictures. Oh, we're having Christmas cards. We just want one picture. Man, I don't have time for that. So today what we do is, it's a minimum $1,500. Now, don't necessarily take the number I'm using. Instead, take the implementation, if you will. So we do $1,500. They have to pay up front, $1,500. $1,200 goes to their order. So follow along. You want to book me for a photo shoot next month for your family? $1,500. Your credit card's going to get billed $1,500. That secures your date, the $300 session fee, and then $1,200 goes towards orders. And we tell clients all the time, the average order in our studio is X, so that they're not coming in here thinking they're going to buy one 8x10. In addition, that $1,200 now has to go to prints. So they know at a minimum they're spending $1,200. So and trust me, guys, people will come to you and go, that's too expensive. I understand. That's fine. I'm not for you. Just like everybody doesn't shop at Louis Vuitton, not everybody's going to shop at Salvatore Sincata Photography. I'm okay with that. You have to be okay with that too. That's another problem I think we have as artists. We're very insecure, and we just want everybody to like us. It's okay if people don't like you. We don't need everyone to like us. I'd rather have less people like me and make those people happy than trying to please people who aren't going to be happy no matter what the fuck you do for them anyway, right? So let's make sure that we are focused on the right thing here, which, by the way, the right thing is making money for you and your family, so that you can have more, have a better life, put kids through school, whatever your passion is and your why behind it all. That's priority. Not having some random people like you for a $50 Groupon shoot. All right, I'll take one more question. You got one?
Do you provide a price list of your products for IPS prior to the session?
So the question is, do I provide a price list for my products prior to the IPS session? I'm going to take you through that entire workflow. That's an important part of this segment today. So the short answer is yes, but there's a time and way to do it. So let me get there. One more question.
And then someone wanted to know, like, the ratio to what you deliver and what you edit in your.
That's a good question. So the question is, what's the ratio of what I shoot to what I deliver?
Right. And then also they wanted to know how much editing goes into your.
And how much editing goes into it. Okay, every image the client sees is edited. Now, this is where things get squirrely. What does edited mean? Color corrected. That's going to be exposure, contrast, color temperature. I'll apply like a soft vignetting in Lightroom to every image. Then I'm going to show them maybe 15 to 25 black and white. I'm going to show them 15 to 25 what we call like premium edits. That's got some texture on it, some dodging and burning. And then I'm going to show them 1 to 2 straight up signature edits. That's going to be like over the top my style. Like if you go to our website, salsincata.com, that would, all those images you see in my portfolio are signature level edits, right? That's going to be heavy editing, and that's what people are coming to us for, right? So it's got this, I don't want to say surreal or fantasy because that's not really our style, but it definitely doesn't look like it looks straight out of camera. That's what we show our clients. Then anything that they use in a print album, on their wall, that's going to go through final retouching. I'm cleaning up blemishes. What I'm not going to do is edit 250 to 1,500 images from a wedding, beauty retouch every image if I don't even know what they're going to order, right? You can't waste that time. Now, if you've got somebody who comes in with a lot of acne or bad skin, or you know they're going to have a problem with their arm looking heavy or anything like that, fix one image and say, look, I want you to see past this. Any image that we like or order will go through this full round of retouching. To that final point, I would say for the ratio we use of what the client will see is about 30%. So if I shoot 1,000 images, the client's going to see roughly 300. And it's a rough number, right? We don't go through and go, okay, well, no, there's 320. We can't do that. Narrow it down another 20. No. And that's going to lead us to a whole other conversation for another day, which is why do I show the client so many images? But there's a method to the madness, because the more images they see, the more images they love, the harder it's going to be for them to say no. Something else to consider, I don't just sit there and go, click, 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 take 20 pictures, and then that's how I get to 1,000. I'm taking tight, middle, wide shots the whole way through. So they're looking at camera, I'm wide, I'm mid, I'm tight. So right there's 3 frames that all look and feel a little bit different, and that's how I get to the numbers I get. So when they're seeing all these images, they're seeing a lot of images that they love, which is all part of the psychology of the sale. So what's the solution to all this, right? As we go through this. One, we need to embrace the fact that clients, the right clients, want products in their home and on their walls. You are not going to have clients that, look, if you're just dealing with the average household income of $75,000 or above, think about it. That's a family where a husband and wife are working, each making $40,000 to $50,000 a year. That's, I mean, if you've got a 2 household income with each person making $40,000, it's an $80,000 household income. These people have walls in their homes. These people have furniture in their homes. These people are coming to you for photography. They want to put something on the wall. It's just reality. We have to offer professional grade products. So the thing is, just start. Stop overcomplicating this. And that's what I think gets everybody in trouble, is that we overcomplicate the sales process, right? Well, I don't know how to do it. I'm not a good salesperson. Well, my clients don't want products. I mean, the amount of excuses that come out of photographers' mouths are just mind-boggling. You can do it. People do want it. You just have to get started. And the minute you do, you're going to be like, I cannot believe it took me this long to embrace it. And you're going to make mistakes. You're going to trip. You're going to fall. You're going to screw it up. But a week later, you're going to be in a better place than you were today. A year later, you're going to be looking back at this moment and be like, I can't believe it took me this long to do it. And I'm going to send Sal a bottle of scotch because I know he loves scotch. And if it's because of him that I'm doing it, holding you to it. All right. So what do we offer? Let's get to that. First and foremost, albums are our #1 seller. That is the thing when families, babies, seniors, weddings, everybody who comes in, the album is the #1 thing that we are pushing them towards. And I think that's important to understand that without albums, it becomes very difficult to, I think, get your clients to understand the value. And this is where education comes in. You've got to educate them on why they want this. So, for example, this is a high school senior album. This is, looks like a pearl cover, maybe metallic. So this is a metallic cover. This is from Bay Photo. It's a press printed book. So this isn't going to be a leather album, but remember, it's for high school seniors. Price on this, do we know? Yeah, I think this is in the $50 to maybe $75 range. Don't quote me on that. Bay Photo, they're running a special this month. If you want to get some sample products, you can see the ad right below. I think it's 10% off every all wall display. So not literally nothing to do with this book. Okay. But this is what we use. And so I want to try and show you this. I don't know if you can see kind of the sheen on this.
Yeah, it's metallic pearl paper on the inside.
Can you see it though?
Yeah.
So it's metallic pearl paper on the inside. The pages are thinner. Remember, this is a press printed book, but this is how we would design a senior album. Are they seeing the whole thing? So this is how we would design a senior album. You're seeing the design. It's very clean. We're not going to put 40 images on a single spread. The most you'll see is honestly like 2 images like that. So it's usually an image to an image and a half, we tell people, per. And something else I like to do, you can see, I cannot stand mixing black and white and color images. It just makes me twitch. So what I like to do when we can is I'll re-edit images to all match. So if they pick one that's black and white and then they're in a spread like this, we'll get them to all match. But this is a real senior shoot. This is a real senior client. So this is Maddie, class of 2019. And so, but this is a senior album. This is 8x8. So that's one album.
Sam,
Yeah.
real quick about those pages. It's not in the standard catalog. You have to request it in the notes if you want those actual pages.
So little note here from Alyssa. This metallic pearl paper is not in their standard catalog. You actually have to put a note when you're ordering in the row system from Bays for this pearl paper. So I guess we got the note. We're in the note. All right. Same thing for, this is an engagement guest book. Now I think this is a unique product as well. This is also an 8x8 album, right? So we've always got our branding on the back in a very, I always like it in an inconspicuous place. I don't want to put it on the front cover, and just, I want my brand there. I want people to know where it came from. But what makes an engagement album very unique is you can see on your camera left where it says words of wisdom and the image is faded. And this is so guests can write here, not just sign their name. I'm always like, do you really care who signed your name on? Like you go to Target and get that stupid ass guest book and it's like Bob White. Like, oh, hey, look, Bob was here at the wedding. I don't think that's real personal. I don't think anybody really cares. So I like this because it's got words of wisdom and then a full picture, and that carries out throughout. So this is something we've custom designed for our clients and they love it. So this is an engagement guest book. So we keep coming back to that like, well, how do you convince clients? I don't have to convince clients. We're showing them these products and the clients are convincing themselves. So if you ever sat in on one of our sales presentations, you'll see clients are making their own decisions, but rarely, very, very rarely, is the decision, we want nothing. It rarely happens. And I think that's because we're offering these innovative type of products. All right, one more. Now this is a full-blown engagement album. And so for these two, this is a 12x12 album, same kind of material, so it's got that metallic paper feel to it, but also a very clean design, even though it's a 12x12 album. This is a real engagement session for us. So we control their wardrobe, their style, right? And this is what we love to do with our clients, okay, to offer them a really unique product. And it's a very nice, book. And, they had a kid already, and we had him in the shoot and doing things like that. All right, one more album. So this is a 10x10 leather album with an acrylic cover. This would go for our weddings. This would be in our middle package on our weddings. And then I want to show you one more that I'm looking at here. This one is from Graphy. And so I want to show you this. So this one is from Graphy, and this is a sample album. I just picked it up. It comes in a box. Oh, and I think that is just beautiful on display here. Can we all see it? And so let me take this out. So remember, this is a sample album, so I'm like messing with colors and things like that. But so far, I've showed this to a few clients, and they are absolutely loving it. Where should I be? Here? Yeah. Check this out. So you can kind of black out the sides. It's a very like rubbery feel. And then the print, can we see this? Again, this is a real wedding. This is a deep matte. And I know you're not going to be able to see this, but this is from Canon's, I'm going to say it wrong. Dream Labo. I always want to say Dreamo Lab, but it's Dream Labo. And it's this matte finish paper. And it's just, it is breathtaking to see that. So, I think the takeaway here is to realize that I'm at this 12 years and we're still looking for new products. So when you're going to trade shows like Shutterfest or Imaging, you should be going and looking at vendors to see what new products they're coming up with, because these labs are constantly coming out with new products, right? Some of the other things we offer our clients, right? Here, these are new prints. So these prints, this is a deep matte, this is also from Bay Photo. This is a deep matte print where I don't really know if this is doing it any justice, but it's from my style of picture taking and editing, it looks incredible, you know, when you're doing stuff like that. So I love this kind of stuff to offer my clients. And it's on styrene. So we don't just offer them flimsy prints. We always put it on styrene. I don't like matte board because, not matte board, like gator foam, because you can squeeze it and it just dents. It feels cheap. So spend the money. I think the styrene is kind of the Cadillac of backers, if you will. So I really do like it. And then we offer canvas, metal, and acrylics. So that's the key here when we're talking about products. You have to offer things that your clients can't get by going to Shutterfly, right? I think that's the key. I want to pause here for questions. What do we got?
When offering a special, is it better to offer product bonus instead of reducing session fee?
So the question is, I like this question. The question is, when offering an incentive, is it better to offer product-related incentives versus discounting the session fees? No. Here's why. It's a great question. Cost of goods. Discounting my session, yes, I'm discounting my time and the value of my time, but it's not, I don't have to spend any money. By offering product bonus, here's the thing. There's two things that are in play. One, you've got to go spend money. So, you know, let's just say we go, all right, everybody who books gets a free 8x12 acrylic. Okay, well, one, I got to go buy this. And you know what ends up happening? Clients think this is all they want. We're already getting a print. We don't need anything else. Trust me, I've tried it, and it will bite you in the ass. So I'd much rather keep them mentally believing, okay, we still have to buy product, we still have to buy product, because that is all tied to the psychology of the sale. So that is a great question.
How do you handle the headshot clients, both individual and corporate, that just need digitals for their websites?
So the question is, how do I handle the headshot clients who just need digital for their website? That's the course you need to sign up for. Scroll down. That is next month. We're going to do that live, but I'm going to answer your question because it's a valid one. They are getting just digital files. That's okay, because that's what they're coming to you for. There's a significant difference where somebody's spending 5 minutes in front of your camera, 10 minutes in front of your camera for a corporate headshot. I get it. So we charge them $200 per headshot. Each additional shot they order is either $150 or $100 for them. So average client will come in here and buy 2 different shots. I don't just take one headshot. So watch this course next month and you will see how I shoot, and you will understand why we'll get a real estate company who will come in here and they'll spend $3,000 to $4,000 on headshots like that. And that's impressive because it's like 45 minutes to an hour of work. I'd rather do those than weddings, but I just can't book enough of those.
How many products are ideal to offer to give variety without overwhelming?
So the question is, how many products are ideal to offer without it being overwhelming? That's a tough one. Just because a lab offers something doesn't mean I want to offer it to my clients, right? And I think that's tough for most of us because we see a bunch of stuff we like and we want to offer to our clients, but then it doesn't sell. Here's what I can tell you after 12 years of doing this. Prints and canvas are the top 2 products we move, bar none. Over the years, no matter what else we have added, well, and albums. Albums are a given. Almost, I want to say 98% of clients who come through here get an album of some form, fashion. But then those other products that they're putting on the wall, prints and canvas are the top 2. Right now, acrylics, and I've been offering acrylics for about 4 years now. Acrylics are starting to creep up and become the more popular item. Would you agree with that? Yeah. So I'm looking to the boss. So she says yes, so we're clear. But yeah, so I think that's, you're always going to have those staples, right, where people want prints and canvas, and then you want to offer those other products. I mean, we've tried a bunch of stuff. Like, I'll go to trade shows, I'll add something in, show it to my clients, and then they don't buy it, right? And so oddly enough, these acrylic blocks, these are not cheap. We sell these to our clients for $150 a la carte, and we'll discount it if it's in a package or something like that. I don't want to say all of them, but I want to say like 40% of our clients add this as a pull-through item. And I think that's a lot. I think when you've got 40% of your clients adding something, that's a good product to have them add. Give me one more question.
Cost of goods sold around 4 times still?
So,
all products or just some?
So the question is, cost of goods sold, is it 4X, 3X? We don't use that kind of formula, so I also like this question. Here's why. An 8x10 costs you $2 from almost every lab. If we use that 3X or 4X model, that means you're selling 8x10s for $8, $10. If you're selling an 8x10 for $8, you're going to be out of business pretty soon because you're not making a profit. So instead, what I like to do is we are not a real big a la carte studio. We put bundles and packages in front of our clients. And when we're putting those bundles and packages in front of our clients, I like to have a 15% cost of goods. So for every $1,000 of products that we're putting in front of them, I like to keep my cost of goods at roughly 15%. I'll go a little higher, sometimes a little lower. 15% is about right, meaning my cost for the product. I'm not including gas and electric and all that other stuff. So, and here's why I use that. If you keep it to 15%, everything else kind of works out, right? So I don't want to have to sit here with a, mathematical formula for like, okay, we used 1.2 gigawatts of electricity. Like, no, it's got to be simple. So I know that if I keep it to 15% cost of goods on the hard cost, that's going to work its way through. And you'll start realizing that you can't charge what you're charging and offer something like this in a package, right? That's $150. So just keep that stuff in mind. One more?
Do you offer digitals of only the photos they purchase products for?
Do I offer digitals of only the products that they purchase? No. The digital option for us is an all or nothing proposition. So you're either getting all your digital files or none of your digital files. And I'll cover that in a second. It'll make more sense. So let's jump back into the presentation. The hybrid model is what we practice today. So we offer digitals, but only in a package. You cannot come to our studio and just get digital files. It is not even an option for you. It's digital files, but you're getting an album, you're getting prints. I don't want to offer an incomplete service. And so clients will call us and say, well, we just want our digital files. You're not my client, right? Now, I'm not going to say that to them, of course, but we're going to work them out of our funnel because, one, we're not going to do it. So no, it doesn't matter how many times they ask. If they're asking you for something you don't do, you can't do it. I can't go to a vegan restaurant and go, well, I want a steak. Great. We don't offer steak. And so I can't have clients come in and go, well, we only want our digital files. Great. We just don't offer that. So you can't get something we don't offer, and you got to stand true to that. The emphasis in our studio is on products, specifically albums. We already talked about that. This holds true for our seniors, families, engagements, and weddings. But education is huge with your clients. You have to explain the why. If you don't explain the why on why something like this is important to your client, on having their memories, having their first family heirloom, having something that they're going to pass on from generation to generation, if you don't explain the value of that, then they're never going to get it. And they don't think that they need that stuff. And then they're worse. They're going to go to Shutterfly. They're going to buy some piece of shit album that's going to fall apart in 2 years, right? I mean, all these things are online now. You've seen these sites, right, where you're like, you can take all your Instagram photos, hit a button, and all of a sudden you'll get a book in the mail. Like, it is the shittiest product on the planet. Like, that thing is not going to last 5-10 years. It's going to fall apart. And that's okay because it's a novelty item. This is not a novelty item. We're trying to offer products that are heirloom quality, and you've got to sell it that way. You've got to position it that way. And most importantly, you have to believe it. If you don't believe it, well, then your clients are they're not going to believe it. I do believe it. I believe in my heart and soul that this is your first family heirloom that we are creating. It's documenting your day, and it is absolutely something you should have. And when your house is burning down, you're running in. When there's a tornado, you're running in. This is what you're grabbing to save and protect. That's how important the album is. So I think we have to educate our clients on that. And we also you can't be afraid to say no. It's okay if every client is not our client, right? There's 2.1 million weddings in the United States every year. Just in this area alone, I want to say there is over 10,000 high school seniors in a 15 or 20 mile radius with all the various high schools here. I can't shoot 10,000 high school seniors. I can't shoot 2.1 million weddings. I'm looking for the 25 or 35 weddings that connect with what I offer. You want to tell me out of 2.1 million people, there's not 25 people who want albums, right? I mean, when you start talking that way and thinking like a business person, you realize how utterly ridiculous the conversation is. You want to tell me there's 10,000 seniors here in this area, and there's parents who are spending like $1,000 on a baseball bat for a kid. They're spending like $2,000, $3,000 to send them to sports camp for soccer, and they won't spend $1,000 on pictures for their beautiful baby girl? I don't believe it. I call bullshit on it. You've got to start changing the way you think. You're the problem, not the clients, right? You're attracting what you're putting out there in the universe. So that's my philosophical conversation for the day. So what are the obstacles? How do I transition? Where do I sell? What about clients who only want digitals? I'm not a salesperson. I hate sales. We've also talked about this a little bit, right? How do I transition? We talked about this earlier on. You got to draw a line in the sand and start selling to your clients. The first thing you have to do is get samples. You cannot sell what you do not show. If you don't show it, nobody's gonna buy it, right? You can't be like, oh man, I got this cool album, you're gonna love it. It's super cool, high end, you're gonna love it. Great, show it to me. I gotta see it, right? So you're not gonna go buy a car without test driving it. You're not gonna go buy a car without seeing the details that are there that are gonna make you fall in love. It's an impulse purchase. So the transition, you gotta draw a line in the sand. You gotta say, I'm gonna embrace this. I wanna make more money. I wanna be successful. I'm gonna order sample products. You gotta order sample products and invest in that. That's gonna take money. And then the next question is, where do I sell? You got a couple options. We can do online. All right, we talked a little bit about that, where what I would do if you did online, and I don't have any pictures to show you, and I didn't know the conversation was gonna go here, but we have online for our clients, we have your photographers. You can photograph things. We photograph this like we would do a product shoot. This product shoot is what we show our clients online. So we shoot the corners, we shoot the thickness, we shoot all the details, the pages, and we have a marketing kind of blurb put together so that if you don't want to bring them into your studio, you can do like minimum order $1,500, or they prepay the $1,500, and then they have to spend that in your online store. But you better have a way of showing them all the details so that they know what they're getting. Think like Shutterfly. When you go to the Shutterfly site and you order product, right? They're showing you products from like every different angle so that the person can make a decision. Shutterfly doesn't do in-person sales, but yet they have $200 million in sales in Q1. So how are they doing that, right? So there's a lot of psychology here. It's beyond the scope of this conversation. I enjoy being face-to-face with my client so that when they're seeing something or they have an objection like, oh no, an 8x10 is all we need. You know, we don't have big walls in our home. Guys, do you have a wall, period? Because if you have a wall at all, it can handle more than an 8x10, right? It's always so stupid when you have these conversations with clients, right? And you go, you know, this is an 8x12, and you go back here and you're like, you put it on the wall, and it's just like tiny little print on the wall. It's like, come on, man, give me a break. Like, you can absolutely afford to put something bigger on the wall. So that's why I like being face-to-face with clients. The sales is much easier that way. You can guide them. What about clients who only want digitals? I'm here to tell you, not your client. Maybe if you just started last week, last year, and you don't even know if you're gonna get involved in photography, that's the right answer for you. You're an up-and-comer, you get what you pay for. Somebody's paying $50, $100. Hey, in my market here, I've got a competitor that just went out of business over here because they kept trying to compete on price and they ran themselves right into the ground. I had another competitor over this way who was doing senior pictures. She had to close up her shop for the same kind of reason. So I've got competition all around me that are trying the shoot and burn model and they're disappearing. So how is a studio here for 12 years? You gotta trust me on this. We're here for 12 years selling product, right? Dude, it's not the photography. Listen, I'm a good photographer. I do believe that. But it doesn't matter how good I think I am. It doesn't matter how good anybody thinks I am. What matters is clients are spending money. You have to find a way to offer them something that they see value in beyond just a picture. The picture's too subjective. I can show my work to 10 clients. 9 might look at the work and go, that's garbage. I don't like that. I don't get it. I need the one who sees the value. That's the person you're searching for, the one that sees the value in what you bring to the table. And part of what you're bringing to the table is a solution. I want to offer my clients a complete solution to document their day versus a digital file being the deliverable. So hopefully that makes sense. I'm not a salesperson. I hate sales. That's the objection I hear all the time, right? I don't like the way it feels. I don't want to push my clients. Guys, you're in business. I'm sorry. I hate to break it to you, but somebody has to sell. You're selling yourself for them to even book you. So there is a little bit of sales to it. How icky it is, right, for lack of a better word, that's completely up to you. We guide our clients. We do not force feed our clients down this process. I don't want to force them to buy something. I don't want them having buyer's remorse. 99% of the time, we're involved in a happy moment with our clients. I want this memory to be a happy one of them as well every time they look on the wall and see that. So trust me when I tell you, it is not heavy-handed sales at all. High level on the process. And before we go into this, because I know a lot of you are asking, like, when do we show them pricing, all that stuff? So I told you we got this covered. Questions? The Graphy album that we were demoing, this is the, I'm going to screw it up. Which one is this? Which is it? Young Book. So this is their Young Book. I like it because it's so unique, right? I like that it's completely custom designed. Now, we're not offering this yet. I don't know. I showed it to brides at a recent bridal show, and the feedback was through the roof. So if my brides like it, that's what matters, not what I like. But it's the box comes with it on the Young Book, and you can control the inside. Now, remember, this was a sample one, so I went with gray and white. But if I had to do this particular album again, I really like the way this looks, all grayed out and blacked out. So if you look at just the bottom of this, I think that looks really cool. And you could put a picture in here if you want. I don't think I like that either. So I think I would just do it all one tone. But yeah, it's a pretty badass album. I love it.
Do you think it would be a good idea to show the client the difference between your product and Shutterfly? Does that help educate them?
So the question is, do I think it'd be a good idea to show the client the difference between my product and a Shutterfly? No, it just seems so tacky. To do it, there is a difference in quality, by the way. There's no doubt about it. Like, their canvases are complete shit. They're almost translucent. I mean, it's horrible quality, which is why it's so cheap. Which, by the way, stop saving $5 when you're putting products in front of your hands and looking for whatever deal is out there. Like, we pride ourselves on sticking with one company and delivering a high quality product. And this is something else you should see. I do like to brand. Can we see this? I do like to brand on the top of the canvas with my logo. So it's not on the front anywhere or anything like that. I feel like that's just too intrusive. So I do like to put my logo where I can, little things like that. But no, don't go head to head with them. I think you're going to, it's obvious, but you should do that. That job, part of the job is done on the front side. If you're marketing to the right people, they're not looking for that Shutterfly anyway. So if you find yourself getting into this head-to-head debate where you're trying to justify why your products are so much better, something else is wrong in your the marketing engine because that should have been funneled out early on. Now, if you're in transition, I could see you having that problem where you got to like explain to clients the difference. One more.
Do you place your logo on the album box for clients or their names usually?
So the question is, do I place my logo on the album box for clients, or is it their name? This we did for because it's a sample album, but no, normally I would put the client name, not my name, on there. It's their product. If you want to do something, you can put it in the back of the album, like the very last page, right? Because you're designing the album in Photoshop, so or some kind of tool like that. So you can just add your logo, very small, subtle. Don't be obnoxious about it. Photography by Salvatore Sincata, something like that. Because 20 years from now, if I'm still around, God willing, I want them to be able to, remember who did it and how to find me, that kind of stuff. One more? Yeah, these are good questions. Hopefully everybody's enjoying it.
Is there a value to showing product images mixed into your website and social to showcase it as part of what you do?
So this is a good question too. Is there value to showing product images on your website and kind of build it into your social media and your presence of who you are? I'm going to say 50-50 on that. I don't show that. I wait till I want them thinking about booking me first before I have them thinking about product, if that makes any sense. So there is some logic to what I'm doing. I don't want them thinking about product before they've ever booked me. I want them to worry about the decision that's at hand, booking me. Now, weddings, they come in and they see the product, but seniors, families, babies, they're booking us online. So I really don't want them worrying about that. Now, when the images are posted online to an online gallery or something like that, yes, then I would say put those product pictures up there so they can kind of get a sense of what they're ordering. Because if not, they're just seeing a drop-down list that says, 16 by 24 canvas. Well, what does that really look like, right? What does a canvas look like? So that, to me, I think is a good thing to do, and we should probably do that. I like that idea. So, all right, let's keep going. High-level process. We're almost done. Next to last slide, the overall process here. So seniors, families, baby, everything other than a wedding. Initial consultation is going to be phone, email, right? That's how we're getting that client to connect with us. Hey, I want to book a photo session. Can you send me some details? We send them a detail that lets them know. Session fee is $300. That includes our time and talent, after which you will come to our studio to pick and order pictures. The average client spends roughly $2,000 in our studio. That is the language. Now, of course, I'm paraphrasing, but that is the general language. So we're telling them from the get to expect to spend $2,000. However, there are no minimum orders. This is also important, which is a true statement. If you want to come in and buy one 8x10, you are more than welcome to do that. I'm not going to be happy, but you can do it. And then it becomes my job to overwhelm them with great images. So that's how it works. If you do it that way, you're going to see the sales you want to see. So we're completely transparent. So there's never this shock from clients when they come in and they're like, oh, we have to buy pictures? We don't get our digital files? Like, it's from before they've even booked, they're being told that. So I think that's a best practice, or should be for you, is to let clients know, like, hey, here's how it works. There's no minimum orders, but the average client spends about $2,000, et cetera, et cetera. So you're letting them know the process in the beginning. And if they balk at that, that's okay. Not your client. And let's talk numbers. For every 10 clients that contact us, 2 convert. That's a real number. And I'm okay with that. I don't want all 10 of them. I want the ones who get it and want something more. Now, we get business from referrals, we get business from marketing ads, and of course, referrals are a higher conversion rate because the people who are contacting us off a referral, they already know how expensive we are. They know how the process works because their friends told them. Like, they'll say, hey, Sal, you're going to love Sal, you're going to love his work, but it's expensive. So they already know what they're getting in for. So that starts there. And we keep emphasizing this. On the shoot, when we're on the photo shoot with people, we're telling them when the shoot's over and I'm rapping with them, I'm like, did you guys have a good time? Yeah, we had a great time. What's next? When are we going to see our pictures? Right? All sorts of questions like that. I'm like, you should already have an email from Alyssa getting you scheduled to come in. In that email is when they see our prices and packages. So we've already told them how much the average client spends, but this is the first time they're seeing that, how much an 8x10 is, how much a 16x24 is, because prior to that, it doesn't matter. They know how much they're on the hook for. The breakdown of it at that point is irrelevant until they see their pictures. But they get a full package. And this is post-wedding, so I don't know if you can see that. But this would be post-wedding. This is emailed to them. But just so you have perspective, these are our folios, our logos branded on it. This is when they're in our studio. This is what's being put in their hands. We want them to have that kind of Louis Vuitton experience. But now that email sent to them, I said, I'm still on the photo shoot with them. I'm saying to them, you're going to come in, pick and order pictures. We're going to walk you through the process. Be ready to spend about 2 hours there. Not only am I saying that, that's in the email from Alyssa to schedule that meeting. And then, of course, when they get to the meeting, this is what they're getting in their hands. And so that's, of course, a very high-level process of how we run it. The important thing is understanding the value of offering printed products over digital files and making that transition. I'm telling you, your clients want it. You can do it. You'll make more money, and you're going to offer your clients a complete service, and they're going to be happy to spend that money with you, I promise. So I want to thank everybody, but I will take some questions. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Let us know, in the comments. But any quick questions before we wrap up?
How do you design albums? The clients pick the pics for the whole album? Do they review it before you print it?
Great question. So the question is, how do we design albums? Do the clients pick pictures? Yes, we let them pick. I don't want to pick for them. They know themselves and what they like better. They send us a spreadsheet back, so we have a custom spreadsheet that we have them fill out with how many images they can put in an album. The design is typically 1.5 images to 2 images per page. So if a client gets 30 pages, they're going to get 60, call it 70 images in the album, and we'll send them a spreadsheet that matches up to that, and we'll design it. They final approve it. We use album exposure for approval. So if you are not using them, I would highly recommend looking at them. Album exposure, great proofing tool. We use it here for us. We use it at Evolve with our album clients, and you can use it with your clients as well. For designing, I love Smart Albums. I think it's one of the best products on the market. We use it internally, and I can't recommend it enough.
When you were setting up the brand, how did you develop that look that is so recognizable today?
So I love this question. When we were developing the brand, how did we design a recognizable look that is so obviously recognizable today? It's funny. I'm a brand marketing guy. If you ever traveled with me, you would realize that it takes a while for us to get from point A to point B, because I'm walking through the airport looking at advertisements from Nike, Reebok. I'm stopping, taking pictures, analyzing where they're putting fonts and logos and what words they're choosing. I even send pictures like that to my team to look at. If I see a billboard on the side of the road, I'm taking a picture of it, I'm dissecting it. And so I'm a big brand guy, and I want everything that we put in front of our clients to have that branded look and feel. And you're seeing that in the bags, right, with our logo there, even the thank you cards. So after a wedding, can you see all this? After a wedding, they're getting this thank you card in the mail. And when you get this black card in the mail, you know it's from me because you're getting it in a black envelope, silver ink. You know it's coming from us, right? The tags that are here that match this, the tags are metal tags that are also branded. And so we spent a lot of time and energy doing that. And there was a lot of trial and error as well. In the beginning, we were having all sorts of trouble, like finding suppliers for blacks to match. I mean, they still don't really match. And I don't know that you're going to be able to see this, but on camera, you might be able to see the difference in black. Oh man, that was making me batshit crazy. And I just had to accept the fact that even though it's black, they're not the same. So these are the kind of things that you'll face in your, as you're building your brand. But what you want to do is consistency. Consistency from your website, consistency from your packaging, consistency from your shooting. I think even my photography is very recognizable. And clients tell me that, not because I say so. Clients will say, oh yeah, I was scrolling through Facebook, and whenever I see one of your pictures, I know it's yours. And we took a lot of care in that as well. So I'm also very conscious about what I'm posting online. I always try to make sure I'm not posting pictures of, hands and rings and shoes. If you go to my website and look at our portfolio, they're big, dramatic images. Now, you may not like it. That's okay. And not every client may like it. Also okay. The ones who are coming to me because the brand is so strong and there's so much consistency. They're like, that's what I want. There's no confusion. I never have a client come in and when it's all said and done, be like, that's not what I expected. Because that's what they're seeing every step of the way. One more question?
So there's a little bit of confusion. You said earlier about the family session, they have a 1,500 minimum. So how does that work when you said there's no minimum order?
Okay, so some confusion. I said there's a, with family sessions, I say there's a $1,500 minimum, but then I say we don't have a minimum order in our studio. Sorry. So remember, families are the only ones we do this with. That is something new we started. So we don't really get into there's no minimum order with families because you're right, they're paying $1,500 right out of the gate. So every other session though, we don't do that. So for seniors, it's $300. They can come in and buy one 8x10. In fact, because families were coming in, paying the $300 session fee or paying a $150 discounted session fee and then buying one 8x10, I had to stop that from happening. And so that response from us, it was a business change that happened. So now for families and families only, we do in fact have a minimum order that is paid upfront in that session fee, right? So we're saying, hey, it's $1,500, $300 goes to the session fee, $1,200 goes to your actual order. So hopefully that clears up any confusion there.
Something a couple people have asked about when you're, what is the solution for anybody who needs like pics to share online, so like social media?
Yeah, so the question is, what's the solution for anybody who needs pics to share online? So in our pricing and packaging, we have something here called a Facebook posting. And I would copy this if you can. It's called a Facebook posting and it's $99. And in parentheses, it says ordered prints only. And this is by design. So this is a low res file. My logo is 100% on it. The reason we do this is because we are not going to allow clients to come in, do a full photo shoot, and then just post all the images online. Some people, that's actually more important than anything else. So we don't want them to be able to do that. If you just want Facebook pictures, this isn't the place to come. But what we do is we go, hey, if you don't like it enough to order a print, then we're not giving you that low res file. But if you do, let's say you don't get into our top packages, which include all your digital files. No digital files in the base packages. That's madness. That's where everybody's going to go. And this isn't a conversation about pricing structure. We'll do that on a later webinar. But if you go into one of my lower packages, you can get Facebook pictures for $99. And if you order 30 different prints, you would get 30 different digital files, all low res, all with my logo on it. So I'm going to wrap this up. Again, hope you guys enjoy it. This is our way of giving back to the community. Share this site with people, sopsc.com. Let them know this is free education. Hopefully you think it's at a high caliber, and we will see you next time for headshots. Be sure to sign up, scroll down for that, and be part of the headshot one. We're going to be on a live shoot, and I'm going to show you live how we're shooting headshots, talk about the business model we follow, and how we can make it work for you. We'll see you next time.